Susan Hepler. I have a question about the church's stance on abortion. Seeing how the church pushes pregnant Sea Org members to get an abortion, why do they, the church, not fight any of the anti-abortion laws? Don't these laws keep Sea Org members from clearing the planet and focusing on their job? Also, why don't pro-life Christians ever target Scientology for protest when it comes to abortion? Hey, thanks for the question, Susan. Okay, well, this basically speaks to Scientology's hypocrisy and the desire to keep secrets. You see, nobody's supposed to know about those abortions. And that's really only at the level of the Sea Org where it's really heavily enforced, where they really have power of choice over a person's ability to determine whether they're going to have or not have a baby. They really put a ton of pressure on the mother and the father to stay in the Sea Org and abort the baby because it's the greatest good for the greatest number. That's how they perceive that problem, as they call it, right? Getting pregnant. And if you get pregnant more than once and it becomes an issue, then they'll just make you make the guy go get a vasectomy because they're just not interested in continuing to have that problem. And of course, the issue with this is not whether it is or isn't right to have an abortion. That is an individual decision that each person needs to make for their circumstances in the context of their life. That's how I look at that. Abortion in and of itself, as I see it, is not a good or bad act. It wholly depends on the context and circumstances. And when anyone, is forcing you to get rid of your baby because they think that it's the greatest good, even though it might not be for you, that's where we are drawing lines and saying this is completely unacceptable. And of course, that's what the Church of Scientology does, specifically in the Sea Org especially. So, but the Sea Org doesn't want to put on a public face that that's what they're doing. The Church of Scientology does not in any way want to present the fact that they're pushing abortions on people, especially when L. Ron Hubbard wrote that one of the most damaging things you can do to a baby is attempt an abortion and then fail at it. And it'll screw the child up like bigly, right? And of course, that's actually true. I can't imagine that there would be any positive result from trying to abort a baby and not getting the job done. So that could just have all kinds of physical repercussions for a baby. So that's their official stance on the topic, is what L. Ron Hubbard said about it. So, abortion's bad. But they're also greatest good if you're a Sea Org member. Okay? So they're keeping all that kind of secret. Okay, and then why don't the pro-life Christians ever target Scientology for protest? Probably because they don't know what Scientology is all about. And if they do, then they look at the fact, Scientology actually works to make inroads with these groups. They sponsor multi-denominational seminars and workshops and talks and things. And the Church of Scientology works very hard to ally itself with other churches. And in these days, as we are seeing, the legal liabilities that are mounting against churches of all denominations are growing because courts are now not giving churches a pass the same way that they used to. You don't just get to pull out your, religion card and get a get out of jail free pass with that. So you're going to see churches band together and do these interfaith conferences and multi-denominational workshops and things and work together for common cause to keep themselves out of court, because all these churches have very big skeletons in their closets. They all do, right? And that's not a reflection of their beliefs. That's a reflection of human beings and the way they act. So they don't want those skeletons exposed. They feel it would be damaging to the reputation and the money and the number of followers that each of the churches has. And they're right. So rather than clean house, which some of them are doing, they will also have this strategy of binding together and working together for common cause for religious freedom, right? And the misdirectors and misrepresentations are legion on this, but that's what they're doing. So, and it's just purely out of self-preservation. It makes complete sense that they would do this. It's just my only objection to it are the lies that they tell in the process and the fact that they try to cover up abusive behavior. Churches can exist, I don't care, but I'm not down with the abusive behavior aspect of it. So, That's probably one of the reasons that you would see pro-life Christians not protesting Scientology. But more likely, most of those pro-life Christians probably just haven't watched Going Clear, haven't watched Scientology in the Aftermath. Because those that do, and there are some of you out there who follow my channel who are like that, who have those beliefs, that's how you got here. And you want to know more about Scientology and stuff like that, and you do want to fight the abuses. And in that case, in those cases of you guys, 2 thumbs up, man. Please do. There you go.